Yo Russ, catch us up, what's going on, where are we trying to get to?
Knocked down quick, so.
I've only bloody gone and killed the SLR. Guess it's time to tear it apart and fix it. I've already taken it down, taken the upper receiver off. If you've come to this video to see how to do that, it's actually already covered in my hopping video. I take down this gun to this point and then take the upper receiver down further. So as you saw, the gun died on me, and it wasn't a low battery. I checked, that was the first thing I checked. No, it did something really weird. So it cycled fine, gave me that warning, and then I tested with a new battery. It sounded like it was cycling fine and the gears were spinning, okay, but no shot was happening. So you would think that would mean the piston stripped a tooth. But here's the interesting part. Luckily, because this is an electric blowback gearbox, you've got this slot here. You should be able to see, here is the piston, and here is the spring, under quite a bit of tension might I add. The piston is actually all the way back. It has a cutout about this long for driving the electric blowback. But it's sitting rearward, cocked, but the gears are able to freely spin. Also, I've noticed that it's been getting very consistent but very low FPS. And I think this nozzle is just a wee bit too short. So it looks like it sits properly, but and if I have the barrel out and push it against the gearbox, it sits properly and I get a good air seal. But I've noticed when you load a mag in, so you can see as it sits into the mag, the hot chamber goes forward slightly, so it will pull it away from the gearbox. I've ordered a new nozzle, so we shall fit that as well in this gearbox teardown, and hopefully the FPS should go up. Because at the moment it's sitting right around 1 joule, which is not exactly the best FPS for a semi-locked DMR. Right, let's get on with the teardown. First things first, flip it over, select a switch, rocket pass safe, and it just pops off. A nice steel selector switch. Some weighty. Then we need to undo the pistol grip. So King Arms L1A1 uses a slightly modified V3 gearbox, and by slightly modified I mean it is a V3 gearbox with electric blowback capacity, which just means cutting a slot on the top. But the motor bracket on it, I'm trying to think, motor cage on this is raked back at a steeper angle to go in the proper pistol grip for the L1, which is rather annoying because it can break, and if it does break, you've basically broken your gun because you can't get another one of these at the moment because King Arms don't make them anymore. Although the rumour mill is stirring, and apparently there is an electric blowback L1A1 coming out soon, and the pictures that I have seen of it are almost exactly the same, if not the same images as the promo photos that King Arms still have up on their website for the original L1A1.
Coincidence? I think not!
There we go. The live wire was acting as a bit of a spacer and wedging it in. So this should all just slide out nicely. Right, I'm back and I've got my actual toolbox now, so let's crack on with getting this gearbox apart. What I'm going to do is loosen off the case a bit and hopefully be able to push the anti-reversible latch. Ooh. Okay, piston is forwards, that's good. That's slightly less of a bomb now. Oh, what's that? Oh, that is suspect. I'm assuming that this bit of plastic might have come from the piston, because the piston is that colour and that type of material. Right, there's always the dangerous part. So I'm putting pressure down on the cylinder to try and hold the spring guide down. spring goes staying quite nice and low. I'm going to take my screwdriver and just feed it in the back here. There you go, I'll hold that nice and down and then lift the case off. Now is always the tricky part. I'm going to reach under, grab the spring, there we go, get that all down. And what's it called? Of course, yes, this is annoying. This gear always gets stuck in this bearing, so I need to push it free because this is currently holding on to the tappet plate for the nozzle. So push that gear 3 and the case is up and off. So spring's under pressure. I'm still going to just take this off quickly. Spring goes out and oh, the spring guide has decided to disassemble itself inside the gun as well. That is not helpful. So yeah, this piston has absolutely shattered, which is a bugger. Piston head is okay, so I can reuse that. That's good. So I can make sure nothing else is eating it while in this rapid, unexpected disassembly. So things to do. We've stripped down the case enough, but because we had a broken piston, that means there's going to be bits of plastic in there, so we need to give it a good clean. We've got cotton wool buds to get into all the nooks and crannies. Nooks and crannies. Big old tub of white spirit. Great little solvent. That should help clear off all the grease. This does mean I'm going to have to re-grease my gearbox. While it's apart, I might as well also re-shim my gearbox. Which probably means I need to think if I want to keep these gears or if I want to change over to 12-to-1s. But I think for the time being I'll keep these gears in. I mean, they work pretty damn well. Don't see any reason to not use them.
Several song-filled hours later.
That is funky. I had not noticed that before. Some weird like bubbling on the surface of the gearbox. So here is the piston I ordered. SHS, made in Hong Kong. SHS, I love them. Cheap and reliable. And also an SHS nozzle. There you go. Ooh. Foul and SIG 550, which is perfect because I believe the hop-up chamber is a SIG style hop-up chamber. And one of my favourite slogans, trust your members. Always trust your members, guys. And girls, anyone. Everyone, trust your members. So if I get the new piston out. Oh, I've just noticed something. That's got a lot shorter of a pull on it than that. Oh. I might have to remove this lump if I want to use my recoil blowback system. What do we want to do? We wanted to remove the piston head. It's quite nice, this piston head came with bearings and such. Obviously this is just a test fit. I will, in a bit, super glue this rack in place because it's a full metal rack. Right. There's my cylinder under head. Pretty good air seal there. Right, let's crack this back open. Right, piston sits in gearbox there. Gear comes round, picks up piston and pulls it back. Like that. Now obviously it stays on its track till here where it releases and the piston goes forward while the gears go round and ready to pick it back up there. But as you can see, hopefully, this here is not quite the perfect angle. The perfect angle is about here. You can see the teeth mesh nicely. There. These are faucet washers. For you Yanks out there. For us, these are tap washers.
You little plonker.
Now, this faucet washer needs to be glued in place. I have seen in the past people bringing, like, I've glued it on my piston, but now it kind of seems to be weird. If you glue it here, if you glue it like that, what you've done is covered all of these holes. So these holes aren't here for lightning. What they're here for is giving you compression. Now, I've covered the end, so there's no air in there, so this should create a vacuum in there. But what? It doesn't. But I can't get the piston in there because of compressed air. What's happening is, when your piston goes forwards, the air runs into those holes, and blows out this O-ring, creating a seal in the cylinder. But when your piston is being dragged backwards, the air, there's no holes for the air to go and blow the O-ring out down there, so the air just flows around it, so it can come back nice and quickly and then get good compression going forwards. If you put your faucet washer on there and glue it down, you block those holes, you don't get your compression. That's why, if you're going to glue your faucet washer to anything, you glue it to your cylinder head. So this has already got a bit of padding on it, but it's not quite the right spacing. So let's clean this up. I'm going to just score it slightly using this 3D printing spatula, just to help the glue grip a bit better onto the washer. So, scored it with that. I've got some scores on there now. I'm going to just start putting a bit of super glue on. I think that should be enough, hopefully. Right, and now put that on there. I'm just going to press it against the table. So, the thing with faucet washers is it's quite a tough rubber, so it's going to act much more just as an AOE spacer than an impact dampener. You want that, you need to put neoprene on. But the issue there is when you're trying to get your AOE done, you put your neoprene pad and you push your piston and you're like, oh yeah, that looks looking good. But neoprene compresses, so what you actually need to do is put it under spring pressure. This doesn't really compress all that much, so we don't need to worry too much about doing that. That was the big thing I was going to do, the nozzle. Here is our trusted member nozzle. Complete with O-ring, that's good. And here is the current nozzle that was on it. Oh, here are our two nozzles. This is the one that was on it, and I'm assuming this is an M4 style nozzle. And this is the King Arm, the SLR nozzle. That's not perspective, it is about 0.1, 0.2 of a mil longer. And I bet you that length difference is going to make all the difference in terms of compression and FPS. Yeah, you can get 100% air seal when your nozzle's all the way back, but that's not how your airsoft gun works. What I do is take a plate, turn it around here, so it's a bit more realistic. So it's sitting forward like it's got a BB in the hot chamber and it's pushing that in. And now let's check the air pressure. Oh, that's good. That's good air pressure, air seal. That should hopefully give us consistency. I'm happy with that. I am going to thread lock where it went my spring guide, because God only knows where that became unscrewed, and I threw it on the floor and I wiped that all over that. God, it's like engineer's blue. Beautiful. That's what you want. Let's get the fluff out of it. So thread locked on that, and set that seal up, cleaned up the excess. That should still spin freely, that should spin freely. Quite nice. Oh, let's not get engineer's blue, sorry, thread lock on myself.
The next day.
There you go, that's a pretty perfect bloody engagement there. So what I need to do is file that tooth down. So this piston has a pickup tooth, then the first tooth after it has been removed from manufacturer, and I need to sand down this tooth. So what happens is it can skip, move back, and then engage. That should work absolutely beautifully. So all we need to do really is remove part of this tooth, just file it down a bit. I think the best way to do this is probably going to be take my screwdriver, and let's take the rack out of the gun, rack out of the piston. I'm not a fan of full metal racks because let's put it this way: if the piston that broke last game in this gun broke because there was some jam or something, if that was a full rack piston in there, it would probably be in the gear train that would have broken, which is obviously not what you want. You see there that tooth has been taken down a bit, and now, as you can see, once this is all fitted, it clears that tooth and picks up the piston nicely. Time for a rebuild time lapse. Okay, so it's been a couple of days since I did the tech work, and I've finally managed to actually put this back together and chrono it. So off camera I ran into a problem. Turned out the ASCU in here, the track that connected the trigger switch to the microcontroller had actually lifted and broken on the PCB, which is really, really weird. Being an electronic engineer, I kind of bodged a fix into that, so that's back up and running, but that took a couple of hours and I didn't record any of that. Anyway, I chronoed it. This has been reshimmed. It's got the new nozzle in it, and it's got the new piston in it. So yeah, I'm pretty darn happy with this. So 1.32s, it chronoed in at about 330 FPS with a variance of 4.6 FPS across the 10 shots. Convert that through. Pretty much 420 FPS on the nose, in fact 418 FPS with a variance of 5, so you're looking at plus or minus 2.5 FPS. But overall I'm very happy with it, and I can't wait to get out and probably miss a load of people with it. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this, drop us a like and subscribe, and stick around and see if I make more videos of me breaking stuff or, you know, sucking at gameplay. Anyway, cheers for watching.